It's the scoop with, it's the scoop with Fari at. Go off, go off, go off, go off.
Experienced a temporary glitch in the system, so I had to come out of here and log back in and everything. So right now, as we wait on the beautiful Uniqea Monie to rejoin us again, I just want to speak about what I was talking about previously before the channel and everything glitched and got interrupted. First thing I want to talk about is the situation that's happening right now with Floyd Mayweather's daughter, Yaya Mayweather, and NBA YoungBoy. Now, the thing is this: I normally don't get into the whole entertainment thing anymore. I try to keep away from that. It's really something I don't have time for at this point anymore. But I said, you know what? Let me get into this because there's so much that needs to be talked about when it comes to Black entertainment. And I said, I feel like I'm the one that should do it. I mean, I watch it. I just don't speak on it, and I try to keep my thoughts and my opinions to myself these days because on social media they love blocking me, and I'm tired of being blocked. So I just kind of, keep hush mouth. But what I got to say about Yaya Mayweather is this: the young lady. If you don't know, she went over to her boyfriend's house, who is NBA YoungBoy, about 1:30 in the morning, obviously to go see her man, or maybe she had a hint that someone was there. But when she got there was another woman there, LaPatra Jacobs. She got there, they got the tussling. She wanted the girl to leave, the girl wouldn't leave. So what was said is that, or what she claims is that, LaPatra Jacobs pulled her by her ponytail and they started fighting. But clearly LaPatra Jacobs must have been putting them paws on Yaya Mayweather because she couldn't handle it. She pulled out not one knife but two knives and stabbed this girl from above the waist. Not only did she stab this girl above the waist, and that's already considered as attempted murder, the young lady is pregnant. She's pregnant with NBA YoungBoy's fifth or sixth child. She's NBA YoungBoy's fifth or sixth baby mama. Um, so now Yaya is facing potentially life in prison behind stabbing this young woman and attempted murder on her unborn child. It's just not worth it. Me personally, it touched me, and that's why I wanted to talk about this subject because I've been there before. I've been that young woman who was quick to fight and even pull out weapons behind a young man that didn't even clearly want me at all and was just using me for whatever reason it was. I've been there before, and I mean, I've been in her same situation before, and it's not nice, it's not pretty. But see, the thing is, I'm gonna tell you where that stems from. That stems from lack of love of self, and not just lack of love of self. It also stems from lack of parental guidance. If she had the right type of guidance, the right type of people in her life to talk to her and be there for her and so forth, she probably wouldn't have done what she did. She would have had more knowledge and understanding, and even though she would just have that wisdom from her elders and so forth to know, we're not going to be fighting, we're not going to be stabbed, we're not going to be shooting no one behind no man. There's so many other men out there, just like there's so many other women out there. It's not worth losing your freedom behind another person unless you're protecting them, unless it's something that you're a situation where you're protecting that person. But because this person's cheating on you, because he playing you, so you want to stab his the other woman behind that? No, that's just not the way to go. Is clearly lack of self-love. I don't know what you all think about that, but me being a Black woman, being one of the leaders in this community, our society, we have to do better. And she's not doing better. She's a young, beautiful young woman, but she's putting herself in a situation now where she could be losing her freedom, all behind a man who has no respect for her, no respect for her father, no respect for her family, none of that. He don't care. He don't care nothing about her. If he did, that wouldn't have been going on. But then again, this is what money does. Money makes people do whatever they want. They feel like he obviously feels like he the man. Like he really the king. He can do whatever he wants. But if they didn't enter that relationship in on a polygamous status or whatever, and they were supposed to be monogamous, and that's what it should have been. It should have been a clear communication and understanding of how they were going to be together and what their relationship was going to be about. But obviously something was not there was a lack of communication there as well. Besides her having a lack of self-love, lack of knowledge of self, and all that good stuff there that she should have been having, she lacks it. Now, another thing I got to say about this Yaya Mayweather thing is this. I read a couple of articles and so forth about how her father has at one point in time, I guess, attempted to be a better daddy to her and so forth, but she kind of was like pushing him away. I'm not really sure what their exact relationship status is, how long he's been involved with her. I don't know. I don't even know if he raised this girl or if she was raised in a broken home or not. But I know one thing. I did see that he has attempted to be involved with this young girl's life. And one thing is we as women, we need our fathers in our lives. We need that just as much as we need our moms. We need our fathers too. Our fathers play that key role into letting us know what kind of man and what kind of relationship we should be in and what kind of relationship we should not be in. I know we all know Mayweather is, pretty boy Floyd, that guy who likes to, show off his finer things, his jewelry, going on, all the Gucci this, Gucci that. But then there's another side of him that we clearly don't see, where he is trying to be that good father. He is trying to be a role model the best way he can. Obviously, he feels like, taking his daughter to the award shows and so forth, that's doing something for her. But it's not always about money. It's not always about what you can provide for your child, like materialistic wise. You have to be able to give your child love, that type of affection. You know what I mean? You can't just always just pass off and give your child some money, a new car, a new chain, whatever it is that he or she wants. That's not always what it takes for your child to be a productive citizen in this world. You know what I mean? A civilized citizen, that is. You have to do better than this. I just hope at this point that Floyd and her mama, whoever her mama is, I haven't even found out who her mama is. I hope that they step in and they all seek some type of family counseling, some type of therapy together, with another African diaspora person that's qualified to give them the type of knowledge that they need and help them build together, because the whole family is clearly lacking. It's lack of Floyd. You can obviously see that Floyd is lacking. He clearly is all about self, but in a bad way. You know what I mean? He's not about self-love and giving that love to others in a good way. He brags a lot. He does a lot that is just kind of negative. You know what I mean? But again, that's only what we see in the media. We don't really know what he's doing behind closed doors, but we do know, just based off of his daughter's actions, that there's something missing in her life. Something majorly is wrong that we are not knowing about. Something's wrong, because like I said, I was there before, and in my situation, I didn't have my mother, nor did I have my father at that point. But my father has been active in my life for years now. For years, he has stepped up. He has been there. My father was one of them street guys that was in and out the streets. He was hustling. He was out there getting paper. You know what I mean? My father has a lot of children himself, and I was the firstborn for a while until I found out about my older sister. So I was just kind of out there living my life, doing what I had to do at a young age, about 14 years old, just ripping and running the streets, going from state to state, just doing whatever. I didn't have that parental guidance. And because I did not have that correct parental guidance, I was doing whatever I wanted to do. I was allowing people to do whatever to me. I done found myself in situations that I would never thought I would be in because of the lack of parental guidance. My mom's, I had no clue where she was at, and I was just kind of on my own at that point. Now, I will say this: when my mother actually came into my life, whenever she decided to come into my life, my mother was like the I guess you would say the broke Floyd Mayweather. She had money. Whenever she had money, she was giving it to me. Whenever she was able to come across some jewelry, some diamonds, my mom gave me some platinum earrings from prison. She sent it to me from prison. Like, she would just give me stuff. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted and I needed love from both of my parents, and I was not receiving that at that time. So what was I doing? I was going out and I was seeking it from the wrong people. You know what I mean? I was being around the wrong type of women, and I was being around the wrong type of men, you know, and those wrong type of men is what led me into the situations that I was in. I have different children's fathers. I done been to jail myself. I done been spent a lot of time in the juvenile detention facility growing up as a child, all kind of stuff, because I had lack of knowledge of self and lack of love. You know what I mean? And but once I found that love, I knew then, you know, I'm not going to put up with this. There's no way I'm putting up with anyone's nonsense. No one's. And there'd be no way on earth that I would sit there and stab another sister behind some penis. Negative. That would never happen. Never. Not unless she was about to kill me. It would take her for about to kill me, or about to kill someone I love, for me to try to kill her ass. You know what I mean? Because I'm not finished to do it. You know what I mean? And I do have a temper. I'm not even going front. You know, I'm all about, you know, I'm all about my sage. I'm all about my crystals. I'm all about peace and all that. But I do got a temper on me when it comes to a certain point. You know what I mean? When that point reaches, it's a wrap. But I'm not going to try to kill anybody. That's the thing. Unless I absolutely have to protect myself. Now, if a girl is sitting there pulling my hair and stuff, why would I? Nah. That's not worth it. She was putting paws on her. She had them gloves. Maybe she was being trained by Tyson and Mayweather, and Mayweather was being trained by somebody else. I don't know. But she did not have to stab that girl over that man. She should just walked away. He was cheating on her. She was being played. She's beautiful. She could just moved on. She could have got with anyone else besides that little boy. That's all I have to say about that. But the next topic I want to talk about is and I want to know y'all opinion on this situation right here, you know, because it's ongoing. And again, like I said, she is facing life in prison. 2 counts. You know, the woman was pregnant and she stabbed her above the waist with 2 different knives. You know what I mean? I want to know what y'all thoughts are on it. Now, the next thing I want to talk about before I welcome the beautiful Uniqea Monie into the studio is what's going on with Africans and African diaspora globally when it comes to the Chinese. I'm going to bring Uniqea Monie onto the show. And like I told y'all on the last show before it started glitching and you know, it got disconnected, Uniqea Monie is very knowledgeable. The woman, she's beautiful. She's talented. She's a creator. She's also an author. She wrote a book called Show and Tell for Children. Y'all got to copy it. I want to make sure that when she comes on, that y'all know who she is, what she's about. We're going to talk about some metaphysical science and some more stuff. So I'm about to pull her on right now, and then we're going to get into this African and African diaspora beef with the Chinese people, you know, or should I say the Chinese people beef with us. You know what I'm saying? So let's bring her onto the show now. And thank y'all for tuning in. The people who are watching, thank y'all. I see y'all. Hey. Welcome.
Thank you. That was a great introduction. Thank you.
Yes, no problem. No problem. So how you doing this morning?
I'm blessed. I'm grateful. It's been a good morning. It's been going well.
It has. I agree. I love your locks.
Thank you.
Yeah, they are pretty. I thought about doing that to my hair. I think I'm just a little nervous to put some locks in my hair. I don't know. I'm just nervous. I'm nervous, but they're so pretty. Every time I see them on a woman, I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Then I'm like, what if I do mine and it fall out or something? What if my hair fall
out? Go for it. I've been dyed. I cut them a couple months ago. Go for it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, they were like all the way down my waist. I just had a moment New Year's. I just chopping them off. I had like a whole candle thing. It was a whole thing.
I know what you're talking about.
Letting go of old energy type thing.
Right.
On. Mm-hmm.
I did the same thing, but see, I had a beauty mark on my face. I had a big mole on my face, and I actually cut that off because I felt like it was holding energy in it because I had it all my life. Mm-hmm. So I removed it, you know, and I felt after I removed it, a lot of people don't understand that I felt so much better when I removed that beauty mark or that mole, so they call it, off of my face. It carries so much bad energy that happened to me over the years. You know, and it seemed like every time I entered something bad or negative, my beauty mark grew bigger. I was like, nah, this thing gotta go. Cut it off. You know, we ain't had it removed. And so I know what you mean by that. That was part of my New Year thing I did last year in 2019 was remove my beauty mark off my face. I was like, this gotta go. I cut my hair every year too. I always cut it, you know,
Okay.
cut off the dead ends. I always cut my hair. My hair never really grows past about, I would say right here. I don't know if y'all can see this, but about right here. Then I end up cutting it. You know, it's just about letting go and just, you know, being able to grow.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. I feel you.
You know what's good for you. You doing it.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, let me show y'all this ring. You see this beautiful ring here? Can
I
you
love
see it?
that.
All right. This right here was made by Goddess on Deck Creations. Oh my gosh. I love this ring. It's copper, it's heavy. It smells like copper too. It's just you know that smell I'm talking about?
Yeah. I know exactly
Girl,
what you're talking
it
about.
has that smell. I love it. And it's so beautiful. And she calls it the Kundalini ring. It's
I like
so
that.
it's so pretty.
I
And
love
then
big rings.
me too. I love it. I just had to show it off. I'm like, look at this ring. It's so bomb. And then I got this ring right here. Let me see. Oh, you see that?
Oh, I like
Oh
that.
my,
That's different.
yeah, yes. You see, wait. Can I which way? Okay, right there. There you go. Look at that. It's
That wire wrap
gorgeous.
is nice. That's pretty. I like that a lot.
It's gorgeous. Lauren Denise, she made this ring. It's just, oh my God. I love it. I love it. I had to show off their rings because they are the bomb. Like, yes. Anyway, when I get their actual I guess the pages that you can follow them, I'm gonna put it in here so people can check out their jewelry and stuff like that because they're the bomb. Like I've been knowing these girls for years and they just been coming up and making some really nice creations and I had to support. I be supporting, man. Like that's another thing. We got to support our people, you know, whenever
Absolutely.
we can support our people. I actually went out and got my king or pinky ring from one of them, you know, and it's so big and it's dope, you know. But yeah, and you already know what that copper is about. But I'm gonna let you talk about that copper when we get into that metaphysical science and so forth. I'm gonna let you get into all that. So what are your thoughts right now on what's going on in Africa and even America globally when it comes to our people and the Chinese? Because you know what you I know you heard, you know, they're kicking the Africans out in China. They got them on the streets. They're making them show paperwork in order to go into stores and all that stuff like that. And they completely like they really flipped the whole thing on our people. You know, when originally it started from them and now it's us. Now it's us. We're the ones that's causing this coronavirus crap that's going on. It's us. But then I was watching a young lady in China and I forgot the name of the county that she was in or the province she was in. She was saying that they were getting kicked out and evicted out of their homes, and only 10 people there, Africans, had coronavirus, but the rest of them were Chinese. So they were trying to say that it was the Africans causing it, but really they was the one who had the least, they were the least affected by the virus. You know, I'm like, wow, like, and then now everyone's surprised. You got the African diaspora in America acting like, oh, they care so much. They're all outraged over all this and everything. But this is nothing new. You know what I mean? It's nothing new. We've been mistreated by these people for centuries. We've been mistreated by them. We've been mistreated by pink people. We just always been mistreated by them. You know what I mean? So now it's just like, oh, we need to start doing this. We should have been not supporting them from the giddy up. You know, there's black hair stores, black owned hair stores. There's black owned beauty nail salons. You can learn how to make your own Chinese food. I made a post about that. Make your own food. Learn to cook. You don't have to go and eat from them. You don't have to go and buy from them because they're only using us. They only need the American dollar. That's all it is. And they know that we're the biggest consumers. So they open shop in our communities and we allow them to stay in our communities and we give all of our money to them. And then we get mad when they're mistreating us. No, you're mistreating yourself because you didn't have to be doing that from the beginning, from the very beginning. What are your thoughts?
I'm not a Band-Aid person. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe this is our community. We
Right.
we're just here because we don't know where else to go. We never knew where else to go. It's
You're
funny.
right about that.
I was just watching Black as Fuck on Netflix. It's the show, the guy that wrote Blackish and Grownish and Mixish and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He has a show with his own family now. And it's so funny. Not funny, but ironic how this is about to come back around. But in the show, he actually talks about how, like, when slavery was over, it was just like, oh, okay, go do whatever. And it's just like, well, what do? We don't know what else to do. We've been assimilated into this culture. There's nothing else to do but work for you guys and live on your land. And that's why I say this is in our community, because we're still working for these people and living on their land and using their money and abiding by their rules and their government and their culture. It's not us. None of this is us. That's why we make jokes about CPT time. Yeah, that's our cardiac rhythm. We don't get up after a certain time. We go to sleep at a certain time. We can't get to places until a certain time. We're not, we don't move to this clock over here. Our minds don't move to this education system here. So when Asians or Arabs or Jewish people or any other culture comes to America, they're not coming to our community. They're coming to white America and they're making businesses. Now, us as Black people, once we understand that part, then we have to say, well, we need our own thing too. Because we see what we want. We want to be respected where we dwell. We want business with us. We want contracts with us. We want you to come into our space and respect us and put the money back into our communities. I see people posting that now. All this money we put to these Asian companies every 2 weeks that they're sending back home. And what are we getting out of it right now? They closed up shop. I see people lined up outside of the Arab liquor stores being treated like roaches right now because of this. People's mindset and how they're treating each other is changing, and people's true colors and how they always wanted to treat you is starting to come out a little bit too. And so I'm saying we got to build our own communities. This respect that we're demanding, we ain't built a table to get that. We trying to sit at white America's table saying, hey, what about us? Nah, this ain't even our space. We need to get out of here. I'm not in favor of integration. I think that when an analogy that I utilize is you have a liver cell and a kidney cell. Them cells ain't coming together to reproduce. The body will die. But you know what? That kidney cell know what it's supposed to do. That liver cell know what it's supposed to do. And they're going to work in their own systems to complement each other. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're over here trying to integrate. We're not supposed to be integrating. You're supposed to be doing what we're supposed to be doing, what we bring to the table. We look at Black people and we make fun of each other because we don't fit in white America. We got this color tone privilege. Why? Because one color tone fits in white America better than the other? What? And then we have this the classism thing. Why? Because one group of people are educationally capable of fitting in white America better than the other. We compare a lot of what we are able to fit into white America. And we got to stop doing that. We got to stop integrating. We have to separate. Stop making fun of each other for being artists and DJs and, oh, another rapper, another actor. That's our gift, Black people. That's what we bring to the table. And white people know that. That's why they use our stuff and we get mad. And Asians and Arabs, they know that. That's why they come in our neighborhoods and try to sell us our own shit. And we get mad. But you got to stop being mad and we got to come together and do what we're supposed to do. We can't keep getting mad at these people for doing what they do. This is regular to them. We got to change how we're reacting to it and how we're reacting to each other. Now it's time for us to go inward. We've gone inward as individuals. We're doing this self-healing, chakra healing. Okay, now as a Black community, now it's time to heal our Black community chakras as well. And that's where I'm at with that. We can't expect other people to respect us more than we're respecting ourselves right now.
I absolutely agree with that. And one thing you said when you first started speaking was about how this is not actually our community. You're absolutely right about that. This is not ours. At one point in time, it was ours until You know, the white man came here and took over and so forth. Now, from the knowledge that I've obtained from the Moorish community, you know, which is absolutely correct, is that we actually have to come together. We really do have to unite and come together. And it has to be at least 30,000 or 60,000 of us to be naturalized in order for us to create our own nation. You know, but we can't do that unless we have those numbers. And it does start in numbers. You know, but we do have to come together, and that's something that we're lacking. We're not together as a people. You know, there's a lot of us who say this, a lot of us who say that, but no one's doing nothing about it, and we do have to do something about it. Now let's talk about the Africans in Africa, especially in Nigeria and I believe South Africa, where they actually are doing something about what's going on with these Chinese people. They're burning down their shops.
As
they're burning down stuff.
As
but see, in America, in America, our people are too scared. They're scary. They won't do it. They're scared of going to jail. They're scared of what the repercussions are going to be for actually retaliating on being mistreated. You
because
know,
we're not living in our own land. This is not our community.
Exactly.
It's not our society.
Exactly.
We're living under the thumb of white America. We're afraid of the repercussions because white America owns the repercussions. Over there, Africa, you know, whereas it's more of a balance. It's still like that British, French, and Spain and all that in there. But it's still like you have an African governor, you have an African president. You know what I mean?
They have their own nation.
Yeah,
they have their own nation.
Yeah, they're not under the thumb of another culture. They're under the thumb of their own culture. So it's different over there. You know, I could go on. I can say what I want to say.
Right.
Go home. Honestly, we need to start acting like we
don't know where our home is. If we was able to go home, then I bet we would.
Our home is with each other, where we're at. It's not a piece of land. It's us. We need to come back together. And right now, it's looking like, you know, we need to migrate to a space. I know a lot of people say stay spread out because but no, we need to move a little bit better. I'm so glad that they're over there doing it. That's what they're supposed to be doing. It's time to behave like we're being attacked because we are. We're being killed. We're being targeted and killed. And
this been happening for centuries. We've been targeted and killed and attacked.
And psychologically manipulated
about it.
Yes. And now we're being biologically manipulated. And we know this. We know it. It's time to start doing something about it. And not out of hate. It doesn't have to necessarily be out of hate, but out of love for us. We got kids. I got kids.
Exactly. That's not hate.
I got cousins and they got dreams. I love them.
It's not hate.
Better. Yeah.
It's not hate. It's love. It's actually self-love to retaliate. It's self-love. It would be self-hate to not do nothing about it.
Right. Exactly.
That's what it would be. But a lot of people see it as a hate, as being hateful, you know, and with that whole we all need to love each other type of thing, and love is all, and blah, 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 love conquers all. Well, if love conquers all, then we need to love each other. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm talking about our people. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, they're not all going to come with us when it's all said and done, because you have those coons. You understand what I'm saying? You got those people out there who are going to be scared to take that ride with us, to take that walk, to go on that journey and so forth. But we see it now happening. You know, we see it now happening. It happens every day. And I'm just very, very, very happy to see that they're doing it, like you said, in Africa. But when will it start? When will it start in America? You know, when will it start in America? And who's going to start it? You know what I mean? Who will actually start is the question, you know? And because it does take one, it's numbers. It takes one person to actually go out there and set some shit on fire. You know what I mean? To go in there and just knock out some windows and start destroying stuff. It takes that one person to have enough courage to go out there and do that. Now, it's just, I don't know, that's just been something that I've been watching lately, and I've just been kind of keeping an eye on, looking at what's happening. You know what I mean? I was told that there was a Asian beauty supply store in Boston, Mass, that opened up during this time, where everything is supposed to be closed. On American Legion Highway, the shop opened up, the beauty supply store opened up, and clearly it was a long line of our people trying to get into that beauty supply store. You know, like, that's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous as hell. But why did they open up? Because they was losing money. They was losing money, and they needed that paper. So
And
they
they knew they
opened
were
up,
gonna get it.
and they knew they were going to get it. Exactly. They knew they were going to get it. And all it took was that one person to find out that it opened up and it caused more people to come. It starts in numbers. All it takes is one. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't know. I just been watching. I'm just like, I'm not really feeling all that stuff that's happening with them Asians, but it's nothing new. I've been seeing it all my life. All my life, I've been seeing it. You know what I mean? Just being mistreated, looked at funny, so forth. You know, all that stuff. You know what I mean? And it's just nothing new. It's nothing new. But for some reason, well, it's not for some reason. It's because of social media. Now it's being put out there more, and people are just really like shocked. Like, whoa, like that's happening. Look, it's been happening. You've just been kind of just, ignoring it like this when you're out in the streets. But now it's just in your face because you have no choice but to see it. Because every time you get on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, whatever you be on, you're seeing something about it. But what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep supporting these people, or are you going to, like you said, are you going to come together as one? Are you going to start loving each other and come together as a family again? Go home, like you called it. You know what I mean? To self. Are you going to do that so we can start rebuild what was destroyed? What's going to happen? You know what I mean? Or is when this whole shutdown is lifted, are y'all gonna start going back to these stores again and start supporting all that after you done seen it? Because that's what they did with the Gucci thing. You know what I mean? That's exactly what they did with the Gucci thing. The Gucci thing was on shutdown for a couple of months or something like that. And after that, you start seeing everybody wearing Gucci again.
H&M does it all the time. It's regular for H&M now. It's like what they're gonna do next.
Yeah. This has been happening too. Exactly with H&M for a very long time.
I hate when I go in Rainbow, and Rainbow is selling like the melanin queen shirts now, and it's just like, if I ever see anybody at the register with this in their hand, when there's so many Black-owned stores selling this, no, we're not going to do that. We're not.
And they're even selling the Rastafarian colors and rainbows. I went in there in Jonesboro, Georgia. I went in there and with a friend of mine, and I seen that melanin shirt you're talking about, because she actually bought that shirt out of there. And she did. She bought that shirt out of there. But in any case, I seen the Rastafarian colors in there. I'm like, whoa, like this could definitely be bought out of a Black store. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking to myself, like,
stuff, and we would rather buy it from them than buy it from each other. And that has to change.
Yeah, it does. It does. But it starts with that one person. It starts with that one person. But like I said, everybody's not going to follow behind. Everybody's not going to, everyone's not going to think how we think and feel how we feel. You know what I'm saying? The way our mindset is very few when it comes to the mass of Black people in America. You know what I mean?
It's a few people that always complain about like not having the ability to get certain things from Black-owned companies. And for those that are interested, there's a couple platforms. You have WeBuyBlack.com, where you can just type in what you're looking for. I'm looking for house cleaning products, body care products, whatever. And it's so much stuff. And they have a convention in Atlanta in the summer times. And then you have For the Culture. I have that app on my phone. It's THA, For the Culture. And they have a page on Instagram as well. And that's another platform. So there's things out there. We have to start telling each other about these things as well.
I actually bought some wraps from WeBuyBlack.com. So yeah. So, but I don't know nothing about For the Culture. I'm gonna have to go look that one up though. Yeah, but there are definitely some platforms and so forth. And you also can just look for, all you gotta do is put the information on Instagram, will pop right up. It'll pop right up.
That's another thing. Like, we have a lot of Indian chiefs too. We have a lot of people that want to do separate things, but you're doing the same thing. Like, okay, you can do your separate thing, but still, like, there still needs to be some type of network and bridge. That whole competition energy and mindset, we gotta let that go too. Like, I remember I was speaking to another woman the other day, and she was telling me what she needed, and it just so happened the kind of thing that she needed as far as crystal organite wise, when I was doing our consultation, I didn't have to give. So I was saying, I can refer you to somebody. And she thought I was insulted, I guess, the way she responded. And no, it's never an insult to me or taken away from me to help somebody else. And the goal is to help you get what you need. And I think we need to get that mindset a little bit more too. Like, I'm not in competition with nobody else. Like, I want to help other people, because that's going to come back to me either same way too. Like, we have to start having that giving mentality. We're always giving to other cultures. We're always turning the other cheek to other cultures and stuff. It's time for us to put that energy back into ourselves.
So we have a question. We have a question. Let me put it up here. I think I can put it up here. Why do you think people in the Black community aren't willing to step out of their comfort zone and think of the bigger picture? Why do you think Black people aren't willing? Okay, this is my thoughts on this. I believe it's not really a notion. It's actually what I know. I know Black people are not willing to step up in the Black community because of fear, and that's what we were just speaking about. It's fear. The people in our community are not willing to do so because they are scared of the consequences and repercussions that will happen for them taking action on things. So that's why it's not happening like that. We, since day one, and the knowledge that I learned recently, since 1933 and 1935, since those years, we have been property in the United States of America. Okay, so there's no way that we're going to be able to actually do something and just get away with it like they are in other countries. It's just not going to happen. Do something as severe as burning down a building or going to shoot up the store or dragging the Asians out of their stores. It's just not going to happen that easy, without us facing some type of consequences. We belong to this government at this point. Once we obtain and have a social security number and birth certificate, we belong to this government. Okay, we are property. We are
not
property.
willing to get that stuff back.
Exactly. And just like Brother Cornelius Sanders Bay said, if y'all gonna see this interview on Monday, the government, they are not going to allow us to harm their property. Simple as that. Simple as that. So once we start retaliating and doing so forth, we're gonna get in trouble. Simple as that. We're going to get in trouble, some type of trouble, and it's gonna be the worst of the worst compared to their people. It's gonna be the worst. They're gonna put us under the jail. But it's going to take numbers because they're not going to be able to stop us all. They can't stop us all. Something's going to have to be done once everyone gets involved and starts retaliating and doing what's necessary for us to claim our actual rights back on this land. So that's what it is. That's what's stopping us from doing it. And thinking for the bigger picture is mind control. That's another thing. Mind control. Brainwashing from the giddy up. When you don't have parents who have knowledge of self, and then you're being brought up without knowledge of self, that's why you're not able to think for the bigger picture. That's why you can't see that, because that was never put in your face from the beginning. So when it's brought to you, it just looks funny. It looks like the picture looks all disoriented. It looks like a mess to you when someone brings it to you and brings it to your attention. That's why they're not able to think that for that bigger picture. So that's what I have to say about that. Your thoughts?
You know what makes me cringe about my kids going to public school? Every morning they pledge allegiance to a flag, a war flag of a country that enslaved them, that beat their ancestors and their grandparents that are still alive today, that they hug and talk to on the phone.
Right.
We have been trained since we were in preschool, patriotism and the government being bigger than us. And a lot of people have gone to the extreme with that. A lot of us are in military, work for the government and everything like that. And so, like, if nothing else, they're definitely going to put us against us. They're going to put those people that really took that Pledge of Allegiance to heart, and they're going to put those people against us. And that's that fear. It's a lot of them. I have cousins every year that sign up for the military, and they are so ecstatic. I'm sure a lot of you do. And we're afraid of that. We're afraid of that retaliation. We're afraid of breaking ties with those people we hold near and dear to us, because you are going to have to fight your brother. You might have to fight your brother.
Right, right.
You might have to separate from some people that you love, some people that you thought loved you, but you see they love this society more. And then a lot of people have to give up their comforts. And when I say comfort, your ability to have Wi-Fi at your disposal, the cable. I go get a new living room set or a bigger TV every couple of weeks. A lot of people are scared to give up that paycheck. A lot of people are scared to give up money. It's a lot of things. I've been trying to think about this from all sides of the game to give people a certain level of comfort and separate themselves in a peaceful manner. Like, yeah, let's start off peaceful. Let's separate ourselves peaceful initially, but still know how to protect ourselves if it comes to that point, if it has to happen. And we kind of know that it will. So,
right.
you know, I'm not saying like, let's go burn down some buildings, but let's go make some paper moves, because we know these people, their magic is words on paper. That's the Social Security, the birth certificate, the paper dollar, all the spells that's written all over the paper dollar. It's eyes on the paper dollar. Like, come on, y'all. Like, you know, they could sit there and call us conspiracy theorists and say that, you know, we're the ones in the wrong and we're believing in pseudoscience and stuff, but they're writing it all over their paperwork and it's binding us to it. And it does keep us in that fear, just like that freedom paper you had to carry around with you going from place to place. And we still have one. It's called a photo ID. Like it's called a birth certificate. It's called a Social Security card. We got to learn how to give those up, and with giving up those things gives away some of those luxurious comforts that a lot of people ain't willing to give up. Like when I tell people I don't eat meat, and they're like, "Oh, I can't give up pork." That's the mentality a lot of people have when it comes to this talk.
Right. We're getting a lot of responses on this topic right here. Are you able to see the comments?
Yeah,
there's a lot of comments going on. Do you think is another anything to do with the years? Okay, so I'm gonna highlight this one right here. That's a good one. All right. In another perspective, do you think it has anything to do with the years and years of oppression that we kind of quote unquote normalize that oppression? Okay, so this young lady, I just realized who it is. This is like my niece that's commenting. Okay,
awesome.
So right, and I think I told you earlier there's gonna be some children and youth, teenagers watching this as well. All right, so Princess Zaya Love, my niece's name is Princess, y'all. All right. Yes, this definitely. Do we think has anything to do with the years? It definitely has. That's what. All right, there's a book that's written. It's called Post-Traumatic Slave Disorder, that PTSD. This definitely has something to do with years and years and years of oppression and being mistreated. It's in our DNA. You know, it actually does flow through our DNA, being mistreated and basically what would be the word, accepting this type of treatment, accepting it. You know, it's in our DNA. We was taught to accept, taught to talk to yes massa, the oppressor. We was born into this. So it definitely has something to do with years and years of oppression, and it's been normalized. But it takes you, Princess, to step out of that. It takes you. You have to break away from that, you know, because you was born with your own brain. So you have to be able to step away from that on your own and say, you know, I'm not going to take this no more. I'm better than this. I know my worth. I know who I am. I know that I am the mother of civilization, and I know what I can do from here. You have to step out of that, because that's exactly who you are, you know. And these other people, all they want to do is emulate you. They want to emulate you. They want to be you. They want what's inside of you that they're lacking. You understand what I'm saying? And Princess, you're a smart young lady. And I'm happy to see that you're watching and you tuned in to this episode, because, you know, this is something that definitely that the youth needs to be aware of, because it takes y'all actually to spread it. The youth is actually the ones that are kind of leading what's going on right now, you know? So if y'all... Exactly. So with you watching this, all you got to do is spread the word. All you have to do is spread the word, as simple as that. But yeah, it definitely has to do with years of oppression and being normalized inside of the communities that we live in and so forth, you know, in our families. We have a lot of hush hush elders, you know what I mean, that don't want to speak up, don't want to do nothing. And then sometimes a lot of our family will look like, why are they not saying anything? You know, maybe I shouldn't say anything either. Maybe I shouldn't do nothing about it either. You know what I mean? They're not doing it, you know. Aunt Betty ain't doing it. You get what I'm saying? She not doing it. Whoever your auntie is, they not doing nothing. Nana didn't do nothing. You know, great grandma didn't say nothing. Great grandma didn't even want to talk about it. So why should I talk about it? Why should I do anything about it? No, that's not how we should actually think. That's not good at all. That's a poisonous way of thinking. Speak. That's why you have a tongue. That's why you have a vocal box to speak and let things be known and take a stand. Yes. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. Years and years of oppression does lead to it being normalized. And it's so scary how fast we are to adapt and to normalize the things that are going on. Like even now with like the social media, it got to the point where it was normalized for us to watch cops mistreating us in the videos. It's normalized for us to talk about Flint, Michigan, and other little things that are going on amongst the Black community. We we heal ourselves with a funny joke, a funny meme we pass around, and then it's normal again. And it can't be like that, like the barbecue Beckies and stuff like that. We do that because we're afraid and we feel like that's the only way we can get through what's going on, and that can't keep being the solution. We can't keep making emotional solutions to things that are happening in this physical space, because it's not safe for us, it's not safe for our children and their children, and so on and so forth. And one thing I love about my kids, and it just this generation period, like when I watch my cousins and stuff, it's like there are our ancestors back again, because they're not taking none of this. They listen to everything, they're taking everything apart, like just how like your niece has been commenting, like she's had the best questions up here, and I'm just like, wow, like that's your niece, like that's how my son is. And it's just like I'm so excited, and it gives me like a bigger responsibility, because we're the wisdom. Just how like you gave that book, families need to buy that book and read that book with their kids. I'm reading books with my kids, and we have a vlog on YouTube together, and that's how we connect. But we're not just reading books on camera, we read books off camera too. We got stacks of books we're over there communicating about. And I just want to make that the norm. I want that to be a norm in the house. One of the books I recommend, just off that question about, being used to oppression, is The Miseducation of the Negro. It's a nice short book. I love that book. And one thing that I always think about that he wrote in that book is, when you train someone to sit at the back door, you never have to worry about them trying to walk through the front door. And I was like, I carry that with me all the time. Every time I see us get used to something else that someone else is doing to us, I think about that. Like, we still trained to sit at the back door. We still don't ask for the front door. It's just we just want Band-Aids. Can we get a Band-Aid? Can we get a new rate over here? Can we get some money over here? Can we get a new foundation over here? Can we get some t-shirts? I just want some clean water. No, I want my sovereignty. I want my kids to have their sovereignty. No more Band-Aids. We can't get used to this oppression no more, asking massa for the breadcrumbs.
Right. Exactly. I definitely agree with you. This right here, let me see. Oh, it looks like quite a few people have that Miseducation of a Negro.
It's a good book.
It is a good book.
Read that with the babies. Right on my shelf. Never underestimate the knowledge of the babies, man. Don't underestimate that. You see these schools in here teaching our kids how to plug in math numbers like algebra in kindergarten. Don't underestimate the knowledge of these babies. If they can do that, you can read this book.
Absolutely. And it's not even a long book either. It's something that definitely should be read. So I definitely agree with you. We got Knowledge Born commenting too. Shout out to Knowledge Born. I'm not sure if a lot of y'all know who Knowledge Born is. Knowledge Born, he is the person who actually it gave me that motivation to say, you know what, let me create this podcast. It's something I've been talking about for years. I didn't do it. And he's the one like, you know what, you need to be on, you need to have your own show. You need a podcast. And I did it. I was like, you know what, why not? I'm in the crib anyways. I don't go nowhere, even without quarantine. Why
Right.
not?
I'm the same way.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. And there's a lot that needs to be said. And thank you for even, for pushing me to go ahead and do that. And I want y'all to check him out on Do the Knowledge Radio. Check him out. D-O, the T-H-A Knowledge Radio. Go check him out.
Definitely
Yes.
some great interviews. He does some awesome interviews.
Awesome.
That Superman over there spreading the word.
always eating oranges and shit all on the thing. Always eating oranges. So salute to my warrior goddesses. Oh, see, there he go commenting right now. He's amazing. He's amazing.
Amazing.
So like I was, you know what? I want to get off of this topic for a little bit, and I want to get focused on Uniqea Monie. All right. I want to get focused on you real quick, because this is why I have you on the show. We done spoke about NBA Youngboy. We talk about Yaya Mayweather. We done talk about the Africans. Let's now talk about you. Okay. First thing I want to talk about, I done made a whole list. Okay. Because you're such an interesting person. And I said, all right, let me write this down, because I want to make sure I ask her the exact questions that I need answers for, and I want everybody else to know about. I want you to tell us right now about your company, Nobody's Business. What is Nobody's Business?
Nobody's Business is a company is with the purpose of uniting all the elements of this universe and the next. So I'm providing education on herbs, vegetables, crystals, organize us as humans, the moon cycles, the planets. I'm connecting all of that, and I'm expressing it, and I'm teaching it through different forms of art. I have communication art where I have my vlogs with myself doing the planetary forecast. That's Nobody's Forecast. I do that every season. I talk about where the planets are and what that means in the electromagnetic sense for us while we're down here on Earth. I also have the book club that I do with my son, where we read other people's works of art and we talk about it. That's also on YouTube.
That's amazing.
I love it. I love connecting with my son in that way, because reading is something that we both love. I also have Less Nobody's Collection, where I'm educating people on crystals and gemstones and organites and the science behind that and why they're useful, especially for us melanated people. And I'll get into that in a minute. And I sell my products on my website, and that's Less Nobody's Collection. I also have Less Nobody's Music, where myself and my life partner, him and his friends, we all make music. I don't do it as much as they do, because I can never get to the recording part, but I write a lot. I've been writing since I was like 10 or 11, but that's his realm, where he does the music and all things music in his realm. And then that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and I have my books. I have Nobody's Writing. I have my book Show and Tell, which is my children's book. And then I'm also working on some young adult books where I apply some of my metaphysical knowledge in those books as well. I've been handing out a preview to my horror season series. So if anybody's interested in that, they can hit me up for that. And I have the free PDF for that. So that's what Nobody's in a nutshell.
That's awesome. And we definitely going to have to talk about these books that you write, because, I'm an author myself. I do the editing, all that stuff like that. And I love to read. I'm not just an author, but I love to read, and when I have time, I definitely will dig into a book when I'm not editing someone else's book or editing my book. I'm going to read someone else's book, especially when it comes to us. You know what I mean?
Same here, yeah.
Yeah, so that's amazing. All right, so let's get to this next question. I want you to tell us, what exactly is metaphysical science? What is metaphysical arts? What does that mean?
So metaphysical science is kind of like a philosophy. We have our own way of breaking down philosophy, but just from like a modern sense, Aristotle broke it down to like theology. You have your religious studies, you have your existential studies like idealism. Are we actually one with the universe or separate from the universe? The self versus I and things like that. And then you have like the I guess existence as far as like the purpose of us being here. Like, what is our purpose? How did the earth come to be? The different theories of that. So that's what metaphysical like studies kind of focuses on, like our existence and why we're here and what the purpose of everything is. And I just express that through art. Like, I take these things, I learn about their purposes, I learn about the different theories, and I put them together and I present them to people. Like, I've been studying Metu Netter, so I learned about the crystals from a Metu Netter sense, from a Christianity sense. I know like the significance of certain stones. I learned about it from Islamic religion. They have certain stones that they hold near and dear to their heart. And I just, combined all that up, and I make art, I paint, and I put the stones on there in a certain combination. I make jewelry, home decor, and things like that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, speaking on gems and crystals and so forth, as we know, we do have some youth watching this episode. And there are people also who are in their early stages of awakening. Can you please explain to those who don't know what exactly is orgonite jewelry?
Okay. Well, to break down orgonite jewelry, I want to break it down to you what orgone energy is altogether. Now, all different cultures have a different word for it. It's that universal energy, that energy that can't be explained, that energy that makes the seed grow in the dirt, that makes the plant grow fruit, that makes you eat the fruit, and then whatever energy you take from the fruit and it goes back into the earth, like that energy. That's prana, chi. But then a Christopher Columbus tribe man named William Reich discovered it and called it orgone energy. So essentially, that's what orgone energy is. It's the energy that's in everything that goes from one thing to another. And while this man was studying the orgone energy, he was trying to study how to harness it, how to manipulate it, how to clean it, how to store it, how to control it to make it do whatever it is that he wanted to happen. And he discovered organize, which is organize essentially is like a 50-50 mix. You layer organic material, which is the carbon, the resin, and then you layer the inorganic material, which is your metals or your stones, according to whatever, specific benefit, whatever stone. Yep, just like that. The copper and the citron together is a nice organic combo. But you want to add, inorganic combo, but you want to add that organic combo of resin. And what the resin does is the resin attracts negative energy. And the stones, like what you're wearing right now, that's pushing away negative energy. It's pushing it away, but it's still, the negative energy is still existing. You get what I'm saying? That negative energy is still there. It's just not on you. But when you have an orgonite, the carbon is absorbing that negative energy, and the crystals are pushing that negative energy away. So this is the carbon and this is the stone, and the air is going through. As it's going through, it's getting washed because the stones are layered a certain way. So that energy is going through it and it's getting washed. It's getting scrubbed. And so the energy is coming in negative and is going out positive. So you're cleaning your energy. So that energy that's not going anywhere because the energy is not created or destroyed, it's now clean and it's not bothering you at all anymore. So that's good to have. It's good to have what you have on because you are protecting yourself, but it's not necessarily cleaning the space for other people that don't have what you have on or may not have as much on. Like, it might hit you in the back of the head. You don't even know because you ain't got no crystal back there. You know what I mean? Like, so it helps a little bit better. But I still like both. I still do both. So that's what orgonite energy is in a nutshell. And I wanted to get in. So me and myself were reading The Science and Myth of Melanin together on YouTube, and that's still on YouTube for those who want to review that with us. And in that, it talks about your carbon because we are melanated people. And and this is why I hate the fact that we live in these kind of communities, and I don't want to claim these kind of communities because they're very polluted. These are where their warehouses are. This is where most of the traffic is. So you have all the trucks and the truck stops. And to us, yeah, that's money. That's money that's generating money for us, and that's jobs for us, and blah blah blah. But it's also pollution for us. And like I said before, carbon absorbs the radical ions. So we're basically the filter for the area that we live in. Your body is filtering the area you live in. That's why it's important for you to be mindful of the chemicals you put on your skin, because the carbon in your skin is holding it, because that's what it does. That's its way of helping the earth, and it's also its way of protecting you. That's why when certain drugs are created in the Black community, Black people get higher longer, and their high is better. And that's why I be trying to tell people about all this new weed coming out. Be careful, because it's probably targeting your melanin. You're getting a longer high and a better high. I don't think you want that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's affecting us, and we're holding on to it, and it's making us toxic. So these are good to have for us too, because we live in these kind of areas where all this congestion and all the nastiness of all this congestion is going on. So,
Oh, yes. Excellent answer to my question. So, all right, let's talk about your journey. How long have you been on this spiritual journey? And how has it been treating you so far since you've been on it?
I've been on this journey my whole life. I've been on this journey my whole life because I had a really, I wouldn't say really is kind of extra, but I had a hard upbringing. I grew up in a space where I didn't feel, I knew I was loved, but it wasn't like emotional support. I was taught how to survive. I grew up on survival. I'm not one of those like emotionally affectionate people. Well, I just now am coming because I'm trying to get my heart chakra in together because I'm a little toxic. But like, I grew up on survival, like keeping it 100. Like my backspace is like, the hard things happened to me, and I had to learn how to heal by myself, because what goes on in this house stays in this house, and you don't tell anybody our business, and you don't do these things, these things. And it was hard for me coming out and making friends and being intimate with other people, because it's like, if people that are in my foundation doing these things to me or allowing these things to happen to me, and they don't care, or it's just a rumor amongst them, or good gossip amongst them, or something to throw in each other's faces, what does that mean for me when I go out in the world? So I grew up with that hard exterior, and that kind of helped me throughout this process of like when I fell or failed or whatever, or like when other people didn't want to do what I wanted to do, kind of like I've always had that kind of loner mentality that always like, I think different than everyone else. I'm kind of in a space of my own, and that kind of helped. Because while everybody was in a wave of doing what everybody else is doing, I'm over here reading, I'm over here studying these things. And then my son got sick. My son was vaccine injured. And like the doctors didn't want to be honest. It was actually my grandmother that was going above and beyond trying to research things. And my grandma gave me the idea, and I started digging in more into it or whatever. And I was upset because it's, the whole rabbit hole with vaccines and eating and the stuff that they're putting in everything, and the chemical warfare and all that stuff like that. And it was just like, what? And so it just like broke all trust, and I just started rebuilding myself from there. I had my first son when I was in high school. So a lot of people in my space were talking to me like I didn't have any choices. Like I would go into the doctor's office, and they would tell me what they were going to do to my child. When I gave birth to him, they were telling me when they were going to take my child. They kept sneaking formula to my child. I was trying to breastfeed him. I didn't want him to leave my bed. It just like, it was a certain trust that I had for this foundation of my family and the system that I lived in. It just shattered. It just shattered, and I had to rebuild from there. And I've just been slowly rebuilding from there with different things.
I understand. Seems like we kind of grew up in the same house a little bit.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying with that. And it's actually kind of hard. That's a hard situation to be in too, when you just got to be quiet about things,
Right.
just got to be. And that kind of goes back to what I was just talking about earlier with our elders just being, and not saying anything. It causes a continuous like poison in our body. We're not able to release it. You know what I mean? And we stay poisoned by being quiet. You know, we stay sick. We make ourselves sick because we're quiet and we're not speaking up about things. You know, that's why a lot of our people have all the certain illnesses that they have too. You know, you can make yourself sick, you
Yeah.
know, and just goodness. I'm glad that thank you for sharing that part, you know, of your story too. You know, you didn't really go deep into it, but it's enough people to know that you have actually been through some things, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and your journey has been forever, the spiritual journey. It's true. You
Yeah.
know, it's very true. It's very true. Um, let's talk about this book. All right. This
Mm-hmm.
book, Show and Tell, the children's book that you wrote. Please tell us about this book. And what are the age range for that book too? That's something else I'm interested in knowing.
Well, this book targets like elementary age kids, like I want to say like first to fourth grade, first maybe fifth grade, and it's a
Mm,
rhyming book. And I'm so in love with this book. I'm in love with the growth and the creation of the book. So it's a teacher. She decides to use her classroom show and tell time for each child to talk about where they're from. And I picked places from like Kadoma, uh, Brazil, Beijing. Like I just picked 9 random places from all over the globe and I researched these places. And that's where a lot of the growth came at for me because a lot of these places I never heard of. And I'm reading about their past and how it's the same story as America. Indigenous people lived here, and this is how it was. And then colonization happened, and now these people are fighting for the right to even survive or obtain whatever needs to be obtained through this society's new currency and things like that. Same thing that our same story. I just kept seeing a repetition of our story in these islands on these other lands, and it's just like it was just like, oh, it was so heavy. But the purpose of this book is just to introduce other cultures and other societies to children and parents while they're reading this book. Like my hopes is that when you read about Kadoma, it makes you want to research it more. And now you might
mm,
want to go visit. Now you're looking at pictures, and maybe you do take the time out to look at the history of Kadoma and you see what happened after colonization, or in Australia, what's going on now with the indigenous people in Australia. You might come across that when you after you get done reading my book, I hope. Like things like that. Because with
where is
education
Kadoma?
comes empathy. Kadoma is in Afghanistan. It's
In
Afghanistan or
Afghanistan.
Pakistan. One of them. Pakistan, Afghanistan. I wrote about both. It's in my
Hmm.
head.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. So with writing that book, you know, was it hard? Was it hard to put together? How many pages are in that book? Like, was it hard for you to do to put together
it's
actual children's book?
it's 29 pages. It wasn't hard. It was very time consuming. I think the hardest part was the illustration part because I did the illustration part myself. And that was like
Oh,
the
you
most
did.
time consuming. Yeah. That was the most time consuming. I did that with like color pencils. I wasn't even up on like the drawing on your tablet screen and stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
so but I ended up liking how it came out after I got done like over critiquing myself. After a while I kind of started liking it. But I enjoy reading. I always enjoyed reading. I always enjoyed writing. When I was a kid, I used to, those little sticky notes. I used to write like little short stories on the sticky notes, or like, how you flip the sticky notes real fast and it'd be like the moving thing. I used to do stuff like that. So this was fun for me. And I always wrote poetry. When I was in grade school, I used to enter in poetry contests all the time and stuff like that.
That's good.
Yeah, so
Kudos.
it
Great.
came pretty natural. I really enjoyed the process. When you enjoy what you're doing, even the hard part or the failing part of it, it's like, yeah, I'm emotional, and when things don't go my way, I get upset. But like, it's not enough to make me be like, quit or tell other people, hey, it's gonna be hard. Like, nah, do it. If you have a book in your heart, do it.
Yes. Where can we find your book at? Show and Tell.
I have a link to it on my website, letsnobodiescollection.com. You can also find it on my publisher's website, which is EITM publishings.llc.com. So it's I in the middle publishings.com.
EITM.
Yeah, publishings with an S at the end, LLC.com. Monie.com.
All right, plug that in there. Let's plug that in so they can get that book.
And it's pretty short. It's 29 pages, but then you'll have some pages that only have like 4 rhyming lines on it, and it's mostly pictures. So it's not too long. I think it was like a 5 to 10 minute read with my little one.
That's amazing. I'm gonna have to check that book out too, because I have a little book collection in my home for my children, and I do like them to read. I also have them read, our books, like, older books, for example, like, the Miseducation of a Negro, books like that. And I'll definitely have them check that out, and we'll look more into Kadoma and all that good stuff, because I'm kind of curious now. What is this about? So it was really good having you on the show. Where can everyone find you at?
I'm a little bit of everywhere. I'm on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook under Sunshine Monet. Unless nobody's _ collection. You can also find me on YouTube. You can search Nobody's Business. I have my Planet Forecast, my book vlogs up there, and whatever little short videos me and my little tribe do throughout the week, that we put those up there as well. Less Nobody's Business is also on Facebook. So I'm pretty much on all the social media platforms. You can find the music on Tidal under Johnny Nobody or Uniqea Monet. Also YouTube, as well as Apple Music, Spotify Music. We're pretty much everywhere, all the music platforms, pretty much.
I gotta hear this music too.
Yeah, I put out one song, and it was so cool hearing my own voice, because I don't record a lot, but I've been writing music since I was younger. And it's called Trap Formations, and it's a hip hop song, and every line is an affirmation. So my mindset with that was like, I like to twerk and I like to dance, and I want some shit that I can do that too. But I also want to say something positive. Like, I don't want to just be sitting here like dancing to something and I'm saying something crazy that I don't even like feel like. I don't drink. I'm not rapping about this, but I'm saying something positive. So hopefully you feel good when you singing along to it. And it's something that your kids can sing and dance to, and you don't feel bad that they listen to it.
Right. That's what, goodness. I'm happy. I'm proud of you. We have a lot in common as far as the poetry, the writing, the music, the journey, all that. We have a lot in common, sister. Seriously. I'm going to have to check out your music. I will definitely be supporting the book.
Thank you.
I'll make sure I'll leave some reviews wherever I can leave reviews at, because that's very important for authors, those reviews. And I'll definitely share your information inside the group, on your book and everything. Just send it over to me and I'll have that posted in the group, because,
awesome.
There's a lot of mommies on my page, and a lot of single dads on my page, and a lot of couples together, but I definitely have a lot of single mothers on my page, and that can actually help them a little bit to, teach their children some other things besides probably what they're looking at on their tablets and their cell phones, and, whatever else they might be looking at, whatever technology they're using. So have your children get into some books,
right.
It's important. All right. So it was great having you on. I enjoyed this, I was determined. I said, "Hey, the first try didn't work, but the second try we will succeed."
Right. And I'm
it
glad.
did. It did. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this to work." No. So it was great having you on. I appreciate the viewers that tuned in and everything. I hope y'all tune in to the next episode on Saturday. Next Saturday at 10 a.m. I am doing something on Wednesdays as well, at 7 p.m. And this Monday, I have a special video that will be posted. It's called More Talk, and it's going to be featuring Brother Cornelius Sanders Bay. And he's going to be giving us a little information about being naturalized, and the Noble Drew Ali and so forth. Some things that, a lot of us need to know about. You know what I mean? Regardless to what religion you are, or what religion you follow. I mean, if you're even religious, regardless if you're on a spiritual journey, this is just stuff that us as carbon melanated people should know about. So definitely tune in to this interview that will be posted on Monday at 7 p.m. on the Scoop with Fari X. You definitely want to tune in and check it out. So it was great having you on, and I guess I'm gonna come about this show. Yes, I'm excited. My first show live.
It went so well. I'm so glad.
All right. Well, it was great having you on, and we will speak again.
Absolutely. Take care, love.
All right. Take care. Peace.
It's the scoop with Fari X. Go off. Go out.
See y'all later.